Okay, here we are again, downtown beautiful Denham Springs, the JoJo Show number 47. Tonight, coming to you live with the hottest topics of north of the tropics. Don't get me all in there, though. I can have my 5 minutes of fame. Globally, nationally, locally, what can you say? Again, topping 2 weeks ago, the main story, globally, nationally, locally, the coronavirus. As I woke up this morning, I checked the status of what the numbers were. There's 69,000 cases here in the United States, with a little over 6,100 deaths mounting daily. Big hot spots of a lot of coronavirus trouble: California, New York, thanks to Cuomo, and Louisiana picking them up. Started off real slow a couple of weeks ago, then all of a sudden we're past the 2,000 mark. What do you think, Little Joe?
That's because of New Orleans. It's pretty much safe to say the COVID-19 is hitting Louisiana hard because of New Orleans.
You were down there a couple of weekends ago. Did you see anything?
No. All that hit like the week I was down there, which was March 7th.
Yeah.
It all hit after that.
Right.
Everything started hitting. Once these cases started doubling, you saw everything go on lockdown around like the U.S. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it wasn't just doubling. It was doubling everywhere it was.
Right.
That's why I think panic, if you will, ensued. There's a couple of things that the government has done that they say are emergency powers and stuff like that. Yeah, I understand that, but they usually don't give those powers back.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? They keep those powers.
Right. They're going to implement that. What amazes me, which is a good thing for those who can receive it, who need it, especially small businesses, is the $2.2 trillion package to, so to speak, bail everybody out of this thing. Those who can afford it, under $99,000, will be getting stipend checks here, a couple of them, within the next month or so. Small businesses will be able to get loans to stay afloat. Some are already closing. You're going to have to pay this back. This money is just not being printed. It is out there.
No, actually, it is just being printed.
Being printed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
all right.
It is just being printed. There's nothing that really backs it besides a petrodollar in the U.S. military. Is the fact that, have you ever heard the story of the Laotian soldier that was in this was during the Vietnam War, Cambodian market or whatever. They had two different types of money. So the journalist goes and, so he's observing a soldier, right? And he had the other type of currency. I think it was Laotian or whatever, currency. But they still took it. So the journalist saw it. He had that money too. So he went and tried to buy the same thing with that type of money. Said, no, we don't take that money. And he was like, wait a minute, you took his money? And they were like, yeah, but he's got a gun.
Well, there you go. There you go. And I hope that the stimulus comes. It's coming up for vote. The Dems, Nancy and Chuck, and the Dems, evil Dems, if you ask me, wanted to throw so much other, quote, pork barrel stuff in there. If I could say pork barrel, they wanted this and that. They wanted amnesty. They wanted money for illegal aliens. They wanted this, that, and the other. And, not all of them are going to be there to vote. Some of them are in quarantine. So it's going to be every second, every minute, every day counts to see how long they're going to hold America hostage, Nancy and Chuck, being the way they are obstinate. You would think that they would try to get it together and maybe get on the same page with the U.S. government, the administration of the Trump administration. But no, it's all tooth and nail. It's been that way. Nancy's a sore loser. Been there so long. The story's out. She's been there so long at what they make a yearly, and she's worth nearly $240 million as a congressperson or whatever she does, Speaker of the House. It's unbelievable how that is. We need term limits. We're not going to be anything a republic or anything till we get term limits. These people are all looking at each other and taking each other and patting each other. In the Republican Party itself, a lot of the people dumped stocks having to do before and prior, same thing before with the coronavirus, and they're being investigated naturally, which is a good thing. It's all insiders. All those guys are up there, Republicans and Democrats, like we've said, all in, it seems like, for themselves. But I think Donald J. is doing a great job. He's got Mike Pence on it, the VP. They come up with daily briefings every day. They can't please Hollywoods and the COVID-idiots that go along with it, so that don't go along with it. The best thing, I believe, and we can chime in, we can go 30 minutes, an hour on it, is social distancing, is protecting yourself when you're in the stores, say Walmart, protecting yourself, staying 6 feet away, quarantine yourself at home, just stopping your daily routines of having to be around crowds, people, restaurants, stuff like that. It's a lot at home that you've missed, that I cherish, that even just what my wife and I at home alone, I mean, we've found out ways to enjoy TV. We've found out ways to enjoy meals. We've found out ways to not worry about what we have to go out to eat tonight because she don't want to cook or I'm not cooking. Bottom line is, and I think my family in general, everybody that I've talked to is in the hunker down position. Talked to my brother today, my sister-in-law, they've been there. Everybody's fine, no problems. I talked to other people in different parts of the country through Facebook and text messaging that they're fine, hunkering down. Life hasn't really changed. I don't know what you'd be missing if you think you had to go out to eat all night or have to go to the latest movie that come in or maybe go to the ballpark, to the Little League Park. It'll all come in time. The lines will be long for the restaurants, 2-hour waits. The stadiums will be filled. Life will go on as in general. Traffic jams, this, that, and the other. Schools will start back. I've heard that kids are wishing and hoping that they could get back into school. They miss the teachers. They miss their friends. And it's just a whole different way of living. What do you think?
I just want to talk about not so much as really the why we got here just yet or how we got here just yet, but definitely like some of the things that are going on has gone on since then. It just seems like it's very easy for everybody just to shut down your whole life. You get what I'm trying to say? Like in truthfulness, that's what it feels like. Like you really don't have much of a recourse if everything is closed.
Yeah.
You get it? So anyway, another thing that I had a problem with, and this is one of the things that I saw the other day, the Defense Production Act, everybody, really didn't say too much about it when Trump went in and said, they're gonna do the go ahead and invoke the Defense Production Act. Okay, it forces private companies to produce supplies for war. It forces private companies to produce war supplies. Now, this, like I said, is something that they could take, they could hold on to, and then they'll just keep holding on to it. That's my only issue with that whole thing. It's like there's nothing for the private business, to say, we don't want to do that. The government can just take them over.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like that means to me.
Well, I mean, they did it back in World War II. I mean, they had the metal drives. They had, you had to give your pots and pans up so they could make boats and stuff like that at home.
We're not to that point just yet. And I don't so much as like the saber rattling, like between just from Trump the other day talking about China. And yet, let's investigate this for what it could be. Don't just start blaming everybody real quick.
You can blame China, though.
No, but China's blaming the United States. The only thing you really blame China for, I really and truthfully believe, is that they didn't understand the scope of what they were dealing with either. And they didn't alert anybody.
Well, today they said that the U.S. Army started it.
Well, I mean, I've heard that. But, okay, let's jump real quick because we got to move quick. Okay, does anybody remember the Harvard University professor and the two Chinese nationals charged in 3 separate China-related cases? Okay. This is actually from January 28th, 2020. Department of Justice announced that today the chair of Harvard University's Chemistry and Chemical Biology Department and 2 Chinese nationals have been charged in connection with aiding the People's Republic of China. Dr. Charles Lieber, 60, chair of the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Harvard University, was arrested this morning and charged by a criminal complaint with 1 count of making a materially false, fictitious, and fraudulent statements. Lieber will appear this afternoon before magistrate judge Marianne B. Bowler in federal court, Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, here's the Chinese guys. Yan Qingyi, 29, a Chinese national, was charged in an indictment today with 1 count each of visa fraud, making false statements, acting as an agent of a foreign government, and conspiracy. Yi is currently in China. Zhao Shenzheng, 30, a Chinese national, was arrested on December 10, 2019 at Boston's Logan International Airport and charged by criminal complaint with attempting to smuggle 21 vials of biological research to China. On January 21, 2020, Zhang was indicted in 1 count of smuggling goods from the United States and 1 count of making false, fictitious, or fraudulent statements. He has been detained since December 30th, 2019. Now, I'll give you one guess as the laboratory and the city they were flying back and forth to.
Wuhan. Yeah, Wuhan.
Wuhan Labs.
Yeah.
They were flying back and forth to the Wuhan Labs. That dude was like a go-between between Wuhan Labs or whatever. So whatever's going on here, that is a serious, fact in this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, those 3 guys were arrested for it. Even, the Harvard professor. That's treason. That's a traitor.
I don't know what you call it, but this had been going on. Maybe, and this is some old, this is something you see in a movie. Maybe, just maybe, China was really trying to do to the United States, and the United States beat them to it.
Yeah, well,
get
that's
what I'm
what you
trying to
said the last time.
Did I say that last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
You said that last time.
I mean, the United States just they knew what they were trying to do, so they thwarted their efforts and then released their own thing on them or something. I don't know.
Well, I just think, people help me out there, listeners. We love you very, very much, family and friends, listeners. I just think China's got it in for us. It started with the trade deal. It went south for them. They wanted everything for nothing and free. Trump pulled the reins on that, and then the Democrats went through a year of impeachment and 2-3 years of conspiracy and
collusion,
all the fake
delusion,
stuff, and
all
all that
stuff.
bull. But the thing of it is that and Nancy and them didn't, lost and sore losers that they are, and then the people think that they're siding with China to destroy America.
Leave it up to the Democrats to play politics during this time.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
Leave
what they're doing.
Leave it up to the Democrats to play politics during this time. This thing is multifaceted. We don't have much time here on the Joe and Joe Show. So I just want to reiterate how we need to do away with the Federal Reserve. Okay?
Right.
Now remember, the Federal Reserve, okay, so how can I say this?
When was it set up?
Hold up, I got that. Everything that the quality of your work, your output as a worker is measured in GDP, gross domestic product, okay? Everything that your output is. Joe, me, everybody, your wife, your mom, whoever, who still works or whatever. It's all goes into GDP. That's how they figure out how much money we should have. I guess that's how I'm, make per year or how much money they could print or whatever. So the Fed takes that money and then loans it back to us at an interest? Okay, so, and now the Fed has been printing nothing but money, dropping big pallets full of money out of helicopters, trying to ease their own problem of they just printed too much money. You get what I'm trying to say? So you have them injecting all that money before this even happened now into the banking systems. We're talking almost $1 trillion into the banking system. Now they've pumped another $2 trillion into it, or something it's some ungodly number. Hey, numbnuts, all that is in about a year from now, everything's going to be like double the price. Like everything's going to be like $1 or $2 higher.
Yeah.
You know, everything that you buy will be $1 or $2 higher. So what gives them the right to do that first and foremost? Because who the hell is the Federal Reserve? In 1913, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank was created as a direct result of a secret meeting in 1910 by 7 men representing 1/6 of the world's wealth. Interestingly, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank isn't federal, there are no reserves, and it's not a bank. It's an elite cabal of international banksters that hijacked our whole monetary system 100 years ago. And I think it's time that it needs to be addressed politically, and it needs to be ended. It needs to be over. Set a date, it's over.
That's another thing that needs to be addressed and done away with, besides term limits. I mean, we've talked about the Federal Reserve on this show a bunch of times, and if people don't understand it, people are going to get the $2.2 trillion trickle down and all that stuff, and everything's hunky-dory. When we have another crisis, say in another 6 to 8 months or next year, are they going to keep printing money just to bail everybody out? Small business, Social Security recipients, I believe, we're not getting any of that money, okay? We're not going to get any of that money. I think that's just, I read it. You can read it for yourselves if you're on the dole on that account, but I believe we're not going to get it. Let me tell you, I don't know what else you got to say. I want to rat-a-tat a few things.
I got one more headline.
Headline.
I got one more headline.
And now the news.
Venezuelan President Maduro wanted by the Department of Justice for drug trafficking. That's right.
Figure that.
Attorney General Barr announces. The U.S. Department of Justice announced criminal drug trafficking charges Thursday against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The State Department is offering a $15 million reward.
What?
They put a bounty on him. A $15 million
million
reward for the capture and conviction of Maduro. I guess they're wanting maybe the Venezuelans to turn on him. Anyway, the indictment of a functioning head of state is highly unusual and is bound to ratchet up tensions between Washington and Caracas. Gee, Joe, I wonder what they have on him for them to do that.
Wow. I can only
We've covered
imagine.
it on the show. We've covered it on the show that, here we go again, the Obama administration got Hezbollah to smuggle cocaine from Venezuela into the United States to fund the proxy war in Syria. That's fact. Go look it up. Okay? So
that's why
maybe,
you text me today with
just
that.
maybe that has something to do with it.
I believe it does. Maybe after the show we can see if we can get a round trip to Caracas and maybe go see if we can collect on that 15 mil. I know where that son of a gun is. He's probably
it should
still
be higher. It should be
still,
a 15 million. That's not anything.
Well,
It should
somebody
be
will
higher.
rat for that when they got socialism down there and they're eating dogs.
Yeah, maybe in their money, when they convert it to their money, it's like $1 bajillion.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's a great segue into see how corrupt that previous administration was. Let me tell you what. All kidding aside, this is a very serious situation. Social distancing, I believe, is going to be the key. You know, in India, the police crack down if you're not adhering to the social distancing rules. They're hitting you with sticks and they're beating you up in the middle of the street, leaving you there. That way you're laying down, beat up with sticks, knocked out by the police.
Yeah, you're practicing social distancing.
Yeah, you're social distancing, laying there on the ground bleeding. But, I mean, bottom line is it's real critical. I hope, and family and friends, which will reach our listening audience, and keep giving those comments below and text messages and asking questions. Aunt Cindy in California wanted to know about a certain individual who's corrupting the U.S.
Yeah, Soros. You know, the only thing I can say for Cindy, if you watch the show, if you're going to see this or not, that Soros is just in with the right people. That's how it's able to go on this.
But
long.
why is he doing the way he does? Everything that goes against anti-American is funded by Soros.
But he funds opposition no matter where it's at.
ACLU funded by Soros.
Listen, I know, but he funds opposition no matter where it's at.
Where's he get off to that?
What if they win? Then that's his people. You get it? That's his people.
Does he want to rule the U.S.,
the
world, or
he's a hedge fund manager? It doesn't matter. If a government can take over a country, they basically, take over the country.
Yeah. It
So
happens.
and he's friends with that government, and they'll do his business and his bidding because he's a go-between between even more elite, evil, rich businessmen than he is. Like, he's actually a small player in that scene, if you could believe that.
Wow. Well, he has all the money. He's a hedge fund manager. He's Sonic the Hedgehog, just corrupting the U.S. government. Listen, how is the coronavirus changed your lifestyle here the past couple of weeks? How would you say, Little Joe?
I mean,
Good, better?
It's shocking to see that nothing's like open. You go on a drive and there's just like nothing is open.
Right.
And the food places are still open, but there's nobody in the parking lot.
Right.
That's just weird. You never just see that. You just never see that for weeks on end, and that's what it's been like here about for the last week.
Yeah.
You know.
Have y'all ordered? Okay. Have y'all ordered takeout delivered to the house?
No.
Okay. Have you went and picked up takeout?
Yes.
I haven't picked up takeout yet. I heard some horror stories of people doing bad things in the fast food. Hamburger patty dropping on the ground, stepping on it, and this and that, and putting it in a bag. I've heard just typical. That it wouldn't have to be coronavirus for that. When you never know what you're getting.
I think that's been going on ever since fast food restaurants have been open.
Yeah. A guy told me they did that years ago when he was working at McDonald's in the early '70s. Got it?
Hey, stay with us. We're having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Hey, well, I don't know what that was. So, all right. So, you had asked me, or maybe we covered this already, Corona affecting my life,
Yeah.
negatively overall, yes, because it sucks that, that America is in this position because of something that they can't control besides old technologies, ventilators, and social distancing, and just all the stuff, all the just stay at home and stuff like that. Like modern medicine, hasn't I ain't gonna say hasn't helped, but there's no modern medicine that could defeat this thing as of right now, at least that officially. All the technology that you have in the palm of your hands only informed you, how bad it could be or how bad it was or whatever. If this would have been the 80s and they'd have blasted it all over TV like that, yeah, everybody would have did the same thing. All I'm saying is all the technology that we have really didn't bail us out yet. As far as what I've seen so far, all the stuff that we have at our disposal now, like, couldn't really help us. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that like you said, they put the Wartime Act in there to make these products that in advance of a war, to make all these products that we need. Making these companies do it as a defense mechanism, a defense act to do it. You're saying if they would have had billions of masks, N95 masks in the stores, on the shelves, this, that, and the other, billions, we would have been okay as they have billions of Cokes. Cokes on the shelves everywhere you go, every store, every convenience store.
Yeah, our interwoven world system is so complex. Everybody could just get up and go anywhere, basically, if you got the money.
Yeah.
I could fly out to China tonight if I want.
Right.
I could fly out to anywhere in the world tonight if I want. If I had the money, I could drive to the airport, say, that flight right there, and there I am going. Now, because our system is so complex, because it's so easy to get around the globe or whatever, that's how this spread, and that's why they couldn't really contain it when they could have. Or maybe they just didn't want to, The system that we have is the complex system that we have is so vulnerable to something very simple.
Yeah.
And all our safeguards and everything that we had in this complex system to defend against everything you could think of, we didn't encounter on this. Our whole world complex technological web of everything could stop anything except this. And the best they could come up with was social distancing, wash your hands,
Wash your hands.
ventilators, like I said, all our gains and technologies that we've made, it couldn't help us.
Well, they put Congress has put some laws and measurements in there that you can't hoard. A lot of people went out and bought all the toilet paper, all this, that, all the hand sanitizers, all the Lysol, this and that. Were hoarding it and selling it for on the black market for ungodly prices, things like that. One thing that the gas went down, but that's another story. We went out over that the other day. I saw gas the other day for $1.49. But I had 3/4 of a tank already when I got it for $1.69 2 days earlier. But it's just we're not equipped for it, like you said. And the technology that we have and the way our lifestyle around the world goes around and round, and people go with or without. I mean, there's nothing that people want that they can't get. And whether it be the internet, whether it be mail orders in to your house, Amazon, this, that, and the other, take out food, deliveries, things like that, groceries. America's pitching in all the professional sports conglomerates are pitching in millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to help this thing, and its money makes the world go round. Let's face it, and everybody's trying to do their part. They're doing church online. They're doing church in the middle of the parking lot. They're schooling, the homeschooling. The computer programs are coming to your house for your child to do school. If your child is out 2-3 weeks with this thing, or maybe a month, why not go to total homeschooling? I'll just do it like that. That would alleviate problems.
A lot of parents wouldn't be able to do that.
I understand.
And you know what? For the most part, a lot of parents shouldn't do that.
No, I mean, like I said, then you see the parody of the situations and the mocking of the seriousness of the coronavirus, things like that. And people need to take this serious. Everybody's getting on the bandwagon. Whether they like what Trump did, they'll never like what Trump has done. People are going to say that the $1,200 first initial check they get is not going to be enough. And there's people that, well, what are they going to do with the $1,200 that they haven't already? What they spend the money on when they're at home besides the food? And I just think that you don't need to be hoarding and crowding the grocery stores and things like that. To make it. Show your ID that you can do your last name from A to J. You can go shopping at the stores Monday and Tuesday. Let them take off Wednesday and let the other crew come in there Thursday and Friday from M to Z and do the shopping. That would alleviate a lot of problems, the shelves going empty, things like that, and especially for the elderly. I mean, there's no safeguard on it. But like you said, there's no way that we could withstand this abruptly as this. Didn't see it coming. At the end of 2019.
But I know. Look, but I didn't see it getting like this in America so fast.
Yeah.
How's that? I didn't see it like this getting in America so fast. But I'm telling you, the guidelines that I've been seeing, that I've been living by, and of course this is just my own. I'm telling you, the C vitamins, try to get good sleep, try to drink a bunch of water, stuff like that. Like I've been drinking and stuff like that.
That's a sacrifice.
No, yeah. But just keeping your body
and some out there have been still drinking.
No, but keeping your body healthy to where if it did hit you, then you could probably get over it. But I wanted to say, do not underestimate the resiliency of the American economy. Not everybody's all in debt.
No.
And not everybody's, poor and gonna, blow their brains out here within the next week when they don't have work, And now it sucks that some people are gonna do that. But, it's still jumping the gun, because here's some good things that I saw in the last couple of days. The market jumped like almost 10%, I think it was Monday, on the news that, or maybe it was Tuesday, that on the news that it was Italy's COVID-19 curve that dropped sharply. And when that happened, we were about a month behind that. So factor in about a month from now, definitely 2 months from now, everything should be get back to normal. And I also want to say that the resilience of the American economy is just great. The American worker is smart. He's just lazy, you know? And so when you're faced with a crisis to where you're not about to eat and the whole future is uncertain, I've seen and heard of a bunch of people getting off their touche and go into places and be like, all right, how can I help? You know? And I'm not just talking about staying home either, you know? Like, there's businesses right now that are thriving because of this thing. Okay, how about this? They converted, and this is in Arkansas, these two plants that make French alcohol are in Arkansas, believe that or not. So they converted a alcohol like a vodka making distillery to very easily converted it to make hand sanitizer for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make hand sanitizer to be for God knows who, for God knows where, to be blasted all over the country. I'm just saying they converted two factories, and this is just one of the things that has been done that I could just rattle off the top of my head. You know, they converted two factories. You know, so there you go. Those people, you know, would have had a job for a couple of weeks, but since somebody was smart and there was the demand, boom, let's convert it. Business is still open, and now they're cranking out multi-record hand sanitizer. And the dude said he was like, "Man, you know, it's weird. This is just one less step of us making vodka." You know,
wow.
They have to
and they're probably still making vodka.
Yeah. They have to they have to leave it a certain way. They can't purify it anymore.
Wow.
You know, something like that.
Well, there you go. Like you said, they're doing their part, and a lot of people are doing the part. And I believe the president and the administration and the government itself is trying to do the best that they possibly can by doling out all this money. One thing, by helping bailing the hospital, small businesses out, or they're going to suffer or go bankrupt, that are shut down. Like you said, you drive down the main drag here in Denham, and you see a lot of businesses close, a lot of businesses you have to do outdoor servicing and things like that. But I think that they pump in a lot of money to the hospitals. They need the masks, they need the ventilators, they need the bed space. I don't know how they're going to do extra for the bed space unless they put them in tent cities, stuff like that, quarantine them in indoor stadiums. You know, that would be a thing, to put them in the Superdome like they did Katrina, and you know, there'd be beds there for the people that are, you know, turn the air conditioning up, whatever they need there. It's just a lot of different ways and a lot of different ideas people are thinking about. But like you said, if you're going to pitch in, you're going to pitch in. We're trying to do the best we can. We're checking on friends, family, and listeners out there. Family, if you have any comments about the situation, how's your life been affected? Followers, please let us know. Comment. We want to know. Basically, the life is the same for my wife and I. She brought her work home, built her a desk. She brought all her computers, hooked up the Wi-Fi again. She works at home from 9 to 6. I can't even go in the room she's at. It's 8-hour day for her. I work alone by myself. My contact is very limited with the people that I deal with, i.e. customers, vendors, and contractors, and I'm trying to do the best I can. Someone called and checked up on me today. I had a sinus infection about 3 weeks ago. I got rid of it. I didn't have the dry cough. I didn't have the fever. Didn't have all the symptoms of. Now there's a lot of people, prominent people, stars, movie stars, musicians, things like that are contracting the coronavirus. And Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, had it, and seems like he's out of the bad part of it. Little Joe?
You know, I didn't want to get straight into the conspiracy stuff, and I didn't. But
it wouldn't be you.
Now
you
let's get a little further into what may come of this, because I'm sorry, there are going to be changes made that are happening now that are going to affect the future pretty much from here on out. Because everybody knows when government does it once, they have no problem doing it again, and it'll probably be even swifter, and maybe they'll just take a little more liberty in that one, you know. But I also want to get to something that maybe we as a society can stop if enough people are aware of it and just say, hell no, we won't go. So, this I found News Punch, Baxter Dimitri, March 19, 2020. Bill Gates, coronavirus means we need digital certificates to prove who received vaccine. A digital certificate is an electronic document that is used to identify an individual, a server, a company, or some other entity, and to associate that identity with a public key. Now, if anybody knows what this means, good for you. I actually know what this means. I understand the terminology when they say public key, So anyway, for those who don't, okay, like a driver's license, a passport, a student ID, a library card, or other commonly used personal IDs, a certificate provides generally recognized proof of a person's identity, or in this case, a person's health and vaccination status. This raises, of course, serious questions. Serious implications could come of this. But when you have hard-hit areas like New Orleans or New York, and you got a whole lot of that population that'll probably lap that up tooth and nail like it's ice cream, like it's a 2 scoops of ice cream. Like willingly, they'll say, yeah, we don't want this to happen to us ever again. So let's all get tracked. Let's all get chipped with this, ID, and it'll be like the national tracking system, And so whenever there's a positive test, it should be seen to understand where the disease is and whether we need to strengthen the social distancing. This is Bill Gates talking now. Gates clearly believes that the public will accept being branded with digital certificates as easily as they accepted barcodes on consumer items. Yeah. And the sad part about it is, after this, there will be a bunch of people that'll line right up and be like, I don't ever want to be in your situation again. I want my digital tracking certificate. And then the whole bunch of other idiots will be like, well, they're getting one. Maybe I should get one. And then they're just going to run over with us, and the last holdouts will be people like myself will be deemed criminals. Would be deemed criminals because we don't want this damn thing. Where everybody else getting it, well, now it's the law. Now you have to comply with the law, or else you'll be thrown in jail for 30 days, and then the next 60 days, and then you'll just spend 5 years in there.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. So we as a society, which it doesn't look good for the American society. Yes, the skilled workers, and yes, the smart people, but I'd say it's about 40% right now to the rest of Americans. I don't know where I saw some stat, but it was a disagreement with not a disagreement. It was just something we were trying to find out. And I was like, no, there couldn't be that many illiterate in the United States. Dude, America has a total illiteracy problem.
Yeah.
They really do. I can't rattle the numbers off for everybody right here, right now, but they have a total
said it the
illiteracy
other day.
problem. People can't even read at a 6th grade level.
Nah.
The average person in America is a good reader, but you have to think. Say that's only 150 million people. You got tens of millions of people out there that can't read.
No. I mean, there's just
Can't read or write.
They can't read. They've played. I don't know. It just it wasn't like that back. They say 30 years ago.
Yes, I know. Yes, it wasn't.
And
here's the old dumbing down of our society, and I blame one set of people. And it ain't big business,
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me get back to a couple of other things. I know we're going to be taking for time here. It said here at Fox News, the latest, U.S. overtakes China, Italy in total coronavirus cases.
Yeah, and that's a skewed number anyway, because
Right.
China I don't think China reported the real numbers.
Yeah.
I don't think they reported the real numbers.
Yeah. And they'd say that the real numbers might not be here. That they might be speaked up. And
yeah, I could see that.
Then,
Somebody was saying, hey, do you personally know anybody that's been, died of coronavirus? I was like, yeah, that is kind of weird.
All right, let me rat-a-tat this to you. Brit Hume, who's on Fox News, was ABC, NBC, or wherever he was. He's been in it for 40 years. Calls Nancy Pelosi's coronavirus briefing nerve-wracking. She's not always coherent. That's from a major newscaster. Okay.
Yeah, Brit Hume. If I'm that's the guy I'm thinking of. I've never really been impressed with him. I like on Fox, and he had a good thing on socialism the other night. Brett Baer. Hey, and another thing that I want to get to real quick. I heard everybody talk about what they're going to binge watch and what they're going to watch and what they're going to be doing. Ain't nobody picked up your Constitution or your Bill of Rights and read that the whole time, and I guarantee you didn't do it. But yet you have all this time to binge watch or to do whatever you're doing. You know, especially the kids. You kids out there, if anybody watching this, you know who I'm talking about. Go look on the internet, get on the Kindle or whatever you're using, and read your Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, and try to sit there. And if you do understand it the first time you read it, that's great. But try to sit there and take one of the most important ones and read over and really understand what they mean to you and see if in your brain if anything like that is being violated right now, because I guarantee it is.
Okay, coronavirus crackdowns causing friction as gun stores deemed non-essential businesses.
Oh, yeah, no, where at?
It just
Where
says
at?
total.
No, that's I know plenty of gun stores that are staying open. But
Yep.
if you already had a gun, the only thing I would be facing anytime soon is maybe an ammo shortage, on my end. But believe me, if it gets to where I'm popping off shots with the rifle, no, we got bigger problems, than coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's more like corona government at that point.
Just people are doing the most extreme things and most good things while they're at home with the coronavirus. They say school may not even start again.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that
the
too.
Summer.
I've heard that from a couple of reputable sources just to be on the safe side. Because it's not the kids. It's
It's
the
just
kids.
the
It's the kids.
institution.
No, it's the kids being in one place and then
Right.
going back and forth home
Which
and stuff.
makes a lot of sense, but this thing may be seasonal. Nobody knows about it, what it's going to do.
Yeah, but
you've
SARS
seen
SARS
you've
and
seen
Ebola
flu,
isn't seasonal.
and Ebola, things like that. And
does the Ebola come every season? Man, I got to get my Ebola shot.
No, there you go. There you said the key word shot.
Yeah.
There'll be another vaccine. The kids
Well,
are
they
going to
ain't
have to
going to vaccinate me for nothing now. If you have a vaccine, that means you'll have a treatment. You'll have
Yeah.
a treatment. That means you could take it just like Zofluza or Tamiflu or whatever the hell you take to
Right.
get over something.
Major League Baseball is being delayed. The NBA may not start up again. They may
Who's
not
going to
be-
miss that?
The NCAA basketball tournament, it's
Yeah,
off the
good-
shelves.
good
Baseball
riddance day.
for that.
There's
And
no
then
good team.
The Olympics in Tokyo started probably in July and August. Have been postponed to 2021. So, and then there you are again. This thing is controlling. This thing is the unknown. And the best thing to practice is if the mandates come out, the laws come out, the social distance, the laws come out for vaccines, whatever, things like that, that you're going to have to follow some kind of guideline, some kind of mandate to protect yourself to get things back to normal.
No.
But-
no, there's nothing. There's anywhere, in any way you could take to court. You could fight this thing tooth and nail. And I guarantee a bunch of people are that the government doesn't have a right to stick anything in your body. I'm
Okay.
sorry, they don't.
Okay.
That you should be protected
Okay.
in that. Now, I'm sure they'll twist and bend that to where to make it. They'll. That's what I'm saying. I have a problem with government enacting all these powers, slowly enacting all these powers behind the scenes. These bills that nobody reads. They're just pushing a whole bunch of stuff in there, and in there's legislation, like you say, to make it like a crime to where you don't get vaccinated if they have
Right,
vaccination. That's
right.
And under this type of circumstances next
Right,
time,
and
where
then-
they just say get right by the vaccination next time. Why don't we just do that? Well, hey, 2 years from now, we'll do this scare again, and then we'll force everybody to get vaccinated that time.
And then,
Then
then to be everybody digital to ID. Good luck with that, with the aliens coming over and this and that. and
yeah,
all
they can't even.
people
Yeah.
that
So
they're letting in
nobody's
the
going to be
country.
illegal anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because wouldn't you want to start with them first?
Yeah, and then another measure they're doing is putting all the nonviolent criminals out of the judicial justice system, jail system, so to speak, and releasing all those so they don't have the chance to get the coronavirus while they're in prison. Well, what's to say with the violent prisoners? What are they doing with them? Are they social distancing them? It's always a thing to let the criminals out, no matter what, whether they be nonviolent. They let a nonviolent criminal out the other day in Pennsylvania somewhere, and he went and he threatened to kill this woman. The first thing he got out, he wasn't even out 2 weeks, nonviolent because of the coronavirus, and he went and tried to threaten to kill this woman, stole her purse and got her ATM.
Yeah, some people
and all that.
just ain't cut out for freedom. Some people just ain't cut out for life, period. And I guarantee
yeah.
that was that individual.
Yeah.
He
But
he was just an angry, confused, uneducated
But I
individual.
just want to reiterate, and it's a broken record again, the coronavirus. Everybody sees it on TV. Everybody sees the death toll. Everybody in the family. We're a big family from, again, our demographic. You know where it's from. California to Florida, Texas and Louisiana, mostly in between. But I mean, you're just going to have to hunker down. You're just going to have to follow the social distancing. To me, is the most important part. I work by myself. I have hand sanitizer. I wash my hands every chance I get with that, or when I'm at home before I eat this and that. The wife is cleaning down the surfaces. I just made an egg. She's egg and bacon for breakfast, and she's there with the sanitizer right behind me. So I mean, let me eat and like I say, just like everybody else, and bear with it. I believe the kids are going to get tired. The parents are going to get tired. Everything, but this thing's got a good month left to go. Don't think because it's dropped off in Italy and China is leveling off and this and that. Now it's mostly here in the U.S. We're going to get our peak. That's what they're predicting. That's what they're saying. Some don't believe in the predictions. But it's here, and it's a different way of life and something that you wouldn't fathom that would happen in your lifetime. But they did at one time. They had polio. Okay, polio was a big thing. They had the diseases back at the turn of the 20th century. They had all these diseases and things where people were quarantined. Thousands died. So this is something else, all a part of it. It's not just something that's new. It's new for the generation, for my grandson and my granddaughter and things like that. They'll be alerted next time.
Yeah, I mean, I really think and hope that America itself has learned an absolutely huge lesson. And I don't care what you say, you cannot depend on the government. The local government, your state government, your city government, nothing. Do not depend on them. Now, what does I mean depend on them? Okay? You don't need their services for nothing. To keep the water and the power going, but you pay for that. You pay for that. What I'm trying to tell you is to be totally self-sufficient. How do you do that? Okay, first and foremost, if a lot of people would have followed this right here, they wouldn't be in this situation right now. Have you and absolutely 1 month of expenses, that's whole kit and caboodle spending money. Your food, your entertainment, your bills, your everything that you spend in a month. Get up all your receipts, add it all together, even money you just blew. Add all that together, and that's the number you need. Start with that first and foremost. Yep. Another thing, every house needs either an AK-47 or an AR-15. That's just off the top, okay? You need it. You need it because you never know what's going to happen. It could be something next year, and you got some gang of hooligans trying to break into your house, either to steal your stuff, kidnap you for ransom, or just raid your refrigerator. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that, that almost could have happened. Here within the next month or so.
Well, it is happening. There is looting going on.
With people out of work like this and the economy just at a standstill, I'd give it at least another month or two. You will start hearing and seeing stuff like this going on. If this goes on like this. Now, that's not my prediction. My prediction, I said, when I heard that stuff about Italy, it was March 24th. I said we're a month behind that.
Yeah, and that's
okay,
what it
so
is.
You're still looking at April 24th. Then to be totally free of the darn thing, hopefully, you're looking at the end of May.
Yeah.
Like this is a much learned lesson, but it's over now. So you're still looking at late May. So, but I'm talking like people gonna get back to work, put on their boots, and get back to work that last week of April. I really do believe everything will be somewhat back to normal at that point.
That's what we're all praying for. I mean, the family and friends out there that I've seen on Facebook that have texted me this, that, and the other. I mean, we're all civilized about in approaching the situation.
I'm full. Damn.
Okay, listen.
You're going to have to wrap it up quick.
Well, okay, we're going to wrap up quick. Let me tell you what. Today I'm in my L.A. Dodger regalia because it would have been the opening of the baseball season, which I think can defrayed to another month or so. I like live sports. I tell you what, I had a dream the other night. Okay, I'm coming. I had a dream the other night. Huh?
Go. You're going to run out of time.
Okay, I had a dream the other night that I was a walk-on at LSU, and somebody had entered the portal transfer and transfer portal, and Coach O was going crazy and cussing. I had to calm him down. I said I could fill the position. So, and that's LSU football, that is. So I need to have some live sports going on. I'd like to shout out to Kane Taylor, and hold up, man. And I'd like to shout out to Corporal Heath Mendoza in Japan. He's not a Lance Corporal anymore. And all you family.
We're not over. I'm just gonna have to charge it. We'll be back.
Okay.
We're not over.
Okay.
That's why I was saying wrap it up real quick, and then you just kept going on and on
Like
we're
just
in
30
there.
more seconds now.
You just kept going
Yep.
on and on.